You know, ever since this incident came out a few days ago about the truth about Tory Lanez's arrest and Prince's sentence was all lies the entire time. We all knew that it was nothing but lies by Megan and her delusional fan base. Now there's more evidence that came out about his DNA not being on the trigger. Turns out it was Kelsey. I made videos about it yesterday, days ago, and somehow the ratchet culture, the so-called sisterhood, are still defending a liar and a manipulator. Why is that? I don't know. Because as a man, this could not be me. I would have taken my own life. I would have fled the country. And until people believe my story, I don't want to face anybody. Let's be real here. Megan Thee Stallion is not a good artist. And she's not a great human being in general. She lied to Gayle King. She made everybody believe that he really did shot her in the foot when there's literally little to no image of a bullet hole in her foot. Because she stepped on some glass and it cut her foot. Made her foot bleed. So how does that look like there was a bullet hole in her foot? That would have permanently stayed on her foot forever. There's no covering it. There's no denying the truth. She basically got away with what she did. And yet an innocent man got put in prison. Make that make sense. And also, Rock Nation, possible. They try to shut everybody up from coming out, speaking the truth, and expose Hollywood. Don't stop. Keep opening, you know what I'm saying? Don't stop. Keep opening your mouths. Let the world know what a crook Jay-Z is. Him, the record label, everybody that is behind this. Shout out to the Pink Book Lessons for this.
Like it should have been for the Tory Lanez trial, because to see the way Tory Lanez is poked up.
I don't know why every time.
In a hospital. And the guy that did it got money on his books right after. It was a hit. And now, bodyguards saying that it was never Tory. Like I said, how did he pull that off? He was high out of his mind. He wasn't even sober enough to hit the one in the middle. And he's as big as this. Lying ass Megan. So that you can do Airbnbs and be a Harajuku Barbie in real life and be a fake anime character and make ramen with...
And I think that's the one thing I've noticed too ever since she got away with her crime. She's going around pretending that, oh, look at me, I'm a 304, I'm a woman, I can get away with whatever crap oh, woe is me, I'm a woman, I can get away with everything that I am because I'm a female. You can't arrest me, you can't have me accountable for my own actions. And yet an innocent man almost lost his life for nothing. She's going around doing these anime cosplays, making ramen noodles, making cringe music. This is what the left does, y'all. I'm no Trump supporter or anything. I'm not. I'm just a person that calls it like I see it. In my opinion, once all of this is coming to light, she has no choice but to come forward and confess her sins. And remember yesterday I made a video when I said that God sees it all? He truly does. And he knows what's going on in Hollywood and in real life with these Jezebels. Let it be known. But what disgusts me about this is that these pathetic losers of her fan base decided to donate money to his attacker. All because you don't like Tory Lanez. Even though he was the one that tried to protect both Megan and Kelsey, tried to break two of them up from fighting before things turned ugly. Before she even pulled the trigger. Tory did not shoot Megan. Kelsey did. So what does that tell you? Society will always believe women over anything. If there's no evidence to him even doing so, then you have no business putting an innocent man in jail for nothing. And Rock Nation is behind all of this. I'm telling y'all right now, Hollywood is the devil's playground. It's not about going to Hollywood, going to LA, chasing your dreams of becoming something in life. When there's smoke, there's fire. When darkness comes to light, everything will be exposed thanks to Cat Williams.
Weirdos, that you did all of that. You put that man's life on the line for that. These hoes ain't nothing. All of these rap hoes ain't nothing but set up queens. Jaguar Wright reacting to the latest drama
and she's
involving
right.
Tory Lanez. Tory was attacked in prison this week.
It's a
14
damn shame,
wounds
bruh.
from a sharp object, 7 to the back, 4 to the torso, 2 to the back of the head, and 1 to the left side of his face. Both lungs collapsed as a result of this attack by another inmate, and the timing, very suspicious. This went down after Meg Thee Stallion and her team were allegedly alerted to new evidence that could flip the whole case on its head. Evidence suggesting Tory is innocent. Yeah, the narrative that's had him locked up for over 2.5 years was built on shaky ground. And hey, let's call it what it is. It was built on lies. The real trigger puller that night
Jezebel
wasn't Tory at all, but Megan's best friend at the time, Kelsey. Conveniently, before this new information.
When a woman smiles like that, it can either mean two things. One, she's all pretty, all innocent and good looking. And another one, she's a devil inside, in heart. She's a Jezebel that can trap any nigga. It's a thing that she has it all. And until they see the red flags, it's their fault for falling for it. I'm being honest.
She could hit the public. Tory gets attacked and nearly lost his life. But no, fortunately for Tory, the story wouldn't end there. There are also reports of money being dropped on the attacker's books after the incident. So now everybody is sitting back connecting the dots. The internet is in flames, and Megan Thee Stallion is starting to catch heat. Finally, people are starting to admit that her story wasn't adding up from day one. And she wasn't alone in the takedown of Tory Lanez. She allegedly had serious help from Desiree Perez and Jay-Z's Rock Nation.
I called it. I called it.
Takedown to silence Tory.
Didn't I just say that I called it? The record label had everything to do with this case. What did I tell y'all? I'm telling you, Hollywood is a devil's playground. JC and the record label had everything to do with it. Let's not forget what they're trying to do to DDG. Haley Billy had a baby with him. Then she claims that he assaulted her. Now all of a sudden she wants to file a restraining order against him. And then you want to block access of him not seeing a son. when he's done nothing but been a great father. Now you see, they always try to paint the narrative of a black man who was trying to be successful in life. I mean, hold up. Do y'all see exactly what I'm talking about? They always try to paint a villain role in a black man when he's more successful in his life. And once he becomes successful, one minute they're doing great. Next thing you know, here comes a stupid allegation that is thrown about him. And we all know it ain't true. They just want to come up to get that bag. That's literally what all of this is. And for every man that is watching this, bro, I need you to understand what I'm about to tell you. If you're with a woman who tries to set you up for something you did not do, I'm going to need you to understand something and understand it closely, okay? She's not the one for you, my nigga. She was a Jezebel from the start. She will ruin your life the moment you lay eyes on her. She may be good looking, with a fatty, with a big Triple D's titties, but she doesn't have the brains of knowledge and common sense to think like an adult. And if you try to correct her and have her accountable for her own actions and wrongdoings, when you try to explain something to her, they'll always put the blame on you and make you seem like a villain. So my advice to any man that is watching this, stay away from women like this. Because 9 times out of 10, so many men, so many innocent men lost their lives, lost their careers. What the fuck are they doing? Hold on, y'all. I'm sick of this. My apologies. Getting back to what I was saying before. No matter how many times you get into a relationship with a woman, you must pay attention to the signs, all the red flags that she has going for herself. And if she ends up liking Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Sexy Red, all of them 3 or 4 rappers that are bad influences in the youth, stay away from them. Your life is more important than what you try to achieve in a relationship. To any man that is watching this, you deserve so much better. Tory Lanez needs to be released from jail. The man is innocent. They just said it. Kelsey just confessed her sins. Enough is enough.
Once and for all. We're going to get into it, but first, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Won't waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump into it. The rapper serving time for shooting Megan Thee Stallion
Which he did not.
In stable condition tonight after allegedly being stabbed by another inmate in the prison yard in California. Sources say Tory Lanez was rushed to the hospital. He's expected to be okay. He's serving that 10-year sentence for shooting Megan Thee Stallion as they left an LA party back in July 2020. Priya Sridhar is joining us now. I mean, people know Tory Lanez. What happened here?
Hey, Holly, that's right. Well, we don't have a lot of information about this just yet, but what we do know from the spokesperson for that California Correctional Institute is that this attack occurred at around 7:20 this morning. They didn't give further information about exactly how Tory Lanez was stabbed or what the potential motivation could be or where he was stabbed, but they did say that staff immediately rendered medical aid. He was transported to a local hospital, and he is suffering from non-life-threatening injuries. However, several other media outlets, including the Los Angeles Times, are reporting that this was another inmate who used a shank to stab him several times. Now, just to jog your memory about what he was exactly doing in jail in the first place, as you mentioned, he is serving a 10-year sentence. He was convicted back in December of 2022 on 3 different felony charges: assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a loaded unregistered firearm in a vehicle, and discharging a firearm with gross negligence. Now, this all stems from an incident back in July of 2020 when Megan Thee Stallion actually testified at the trial that he, after they were
They put on
departing
a
a
performance
party at
for the whole
Kylie
world to
Jenner's
see and
house,
rely
they
on
were
this
walking
man's
towards
name.
an SUV that they
That's
should have
exactly
been
what she
riding
did.
back together in, when he apparently shot at her feet.
He
and told
did
her
not.
to dance in the driveway.
Why the you lying?
Oh, this pisses me off so much, bro. Like, the media is still pinning him as the progressor. He did not have a DNA in his name. He did not have his hands on the weapon. He did not have his hand on the firearm. He did not pull the trigger with the firearm. And he did not shoot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. She stepped on glass to make it look like she got shot. She lied. Megan lied on Tory Lanez. What is it so hard for the media and people to understand? Gosh, this infuriates me as a man. I hate that the media is making innocent men look crazy. Come on, man. Like, this is one of the main reasons why men are basically, okay, you know what? Let me just calm myself down before I crash out. I'm trying not to do this though, but this is really pissed me off. Okay? Megan is the worst human being. She's a liar. Since the beginning of time. And Tory Lanez, he was just doing his thing. Trying to be a better artist. And yet somehow, the media, her fan base, and the whole leftist world, instead of studying on the truth, they would rather just continue to stick with their lies. Because just that really infuriates me as a man, because I feel like as if they don't want to come to the conclusion and say, okay, Kelsey lied, so are we going to release him from jail or not? They're not going to. Because Rock Nation is going to try everything in their power to keep this man in jail for no reason. And I'm telling you, once he gets out of prison, their careers are done.
Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop fucking lying.
Again, this is why mainstream media cannot be trusted. She literally
Exactly.
lied about the whole story. They weren't walking to the car from Kylie's house when the incident happened. They had already left her house. This incident did not occur on Kylie's property. But the way she just reported that, that's the message that she's giving out. Then she conveniently left out how Megan and her bestie got into a physical altercation that spilled out of the car in the streets, and that's when the gun appeared and went off. But they're going to keep saying Tory shot Megan when his DNA wasn't even on the weapon. They're not telling their audience that.
Pathetic.
And that female DNA belongs to one of the 2 females in the fight. And we all know who that female is.
As Tory Lanez recovers in a hospital after a prison stabbing attack, his father and supporters gathered today to demand his release.
Former rapper was convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion. Fox 7's Christopher Hardo tells us about the claim of new evidence.
Bringing it to light now was made
I saw this on
necessary
TikTok.
by the events of this week.
Oh yeah, I saw this clip on TikTok, and that really made me realize that Tory was never the one that pulled the trigger. I mean, yet somehow the media continues to believe Megan over the truth. Man, Hollywood is a corrupted place. the media is not to be trusted at all. But the only people that, well, the only person that I do trust is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Because if anybody that knows the truth, it's the man upstairs. And I will guarantee you, no, hold on. I will guarantee you that the judge is still going to defend Megan and not come to an agreement to release this man from jail. All of the evidence is coming out against him.
Just days after rapper Tory Lanez, also known as Daystar Peterson, was attacked in prison, his attorneys are calling on Governor Newsom to pardon or commute his sentence, insisting they have new evidence Lanez didn't shoot superstar Megan Thee Stallion, but it was instead her former best friend, Kelsey Harris. And they say Harris's one-time bodyguard, Bradley James, was spurred by conscience to come forward.
Mr. James informed Unite the People that he was witness to the conversation Miss Harris had where she stated she had the gun, she fired it 3 times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody.
Walter Roberts says the statement aligns with another witness who saw 2 women fighting. Lanez is serving a 10-year sentence after being convicted of shooting Stallion in the Hollywood Hills back in 2020. The singer testified against Lanez and in an op-ed wrote, quote, "Even as a victim, I have been met with skepticism and judgment."
Girl,
we
shut
can hear
up.
back from Stallion's attorney.
You did it to yourself. Everybody is going to judge you because you lie on Tory Lanez's name. I'm telling y'all, these Jezebels just would not stop. Amateurs trying to do the same thing with Johnny Depp in 2022. And look what happened. He won. Imagine the same thing happened to Tory Lanez if Megan ends up found guilty on false conspiracy theories and lying on Tory Lanez. Putting this innocent man in jail. Lying about being shot in the foot, sleeping with him. And Kelsey, she might as well just plead guilty to everything since she was the one that pulled the trigger. So Megan, that comment you did, you're full of cap.
And couldn't reach Harris for comment. Lanez's lawyers say they've had the new evidence for months and were waiting on the appeals court to rule, but went public after he was stabbed in prison.
He was stabbed times.
The rapper's father, Sunstar Peterson, says his son is recovering remarkably well, but recounted the story Lanez told him.
And I quote, "Dad, I thought it was my last. And having made my peace with God, I said, okay, God, is this how it's supposed to end for me?" And God said no. God told him, "Do not give up."
The family
That's
and
right.
legal team insists Lanez was...
And shout out to his dad, though, because even he knows the truth. That day when they sent him to jail, I knew Rock Nation had something to do with it. Because based on how Jay-Z and everybody in Hollywood runs people, controlling women, their artists, it's obvious to me that the picture is right there. At this point, you can't even respect Jay-Z anymore. I lost respect for him years ago. Yes, he may have put out some good songs, but good grief, bruh. Like, the way you try to control these women, and you try to silence people from exposing you and the label of everything that you have all involved in. It's all coming to light. So shout out to his dad because he knows. He knows.
Never given a fair trial, raising questions about the prosecution and investigation. But now say Lanez can't wait for the appellate process to play out. In downtown LA, Christy Fajardo, Fox 11 News.
Tory was absolutely railroaded. Anyone with a shred of common sense could see what was happening. The actual evidence and testimony never pointed to Tory Lanez at all. His DNA wasn't even on the weapon. But guess what was? Female DNA. And instead of doing their due diligence, they conveniently skipped testing Megan's friend to see if that DNA belonged to her. Also, key testimony that could have cleared Tory wasn't taken seriously. Then there's Kelsey, Megan's ex-bestie, who showed up demanding full immunity before saying a word. Full immunity. She knew the truth, but still twisted herself into knots to protect herself, even though she couldn't be prosecuted anyway, thanks to that sweetheart deal from the prosecution. Now fast forward, Kelsey's own bodyguard has come forward and said it plain. It was Kelsey who did this to Megan. According to his testimony, he couldn't stay quiet knowing what he knew while an innocent man is locked up, taking the fall for something he didn't do.
So you mean to tell me Kelsey shot her friend Megan Thee Stallion and not Tory Lanez? It's another reason why we don't have friends. Breaking news has just came out, y'all. Kelsey's bodyguard feels so bad and his conscience has been playing on him so hard. After Tory Lanez was stabbed 14 times, this man done came forward and told the truth. Now, bodyguard, you know you this man been sitting in jail all this time and got stabbed. Yo, Kelsey pulled out the gun and fired off 3 shots and then somebody knocked the gun out of her hand, allegedly.
Now, a lot of Meg supporters didn't like it when I...
Nah, ain't no allegedly. She did it. And why does it seem like every time I see posts of black women on social media acting all delusional, I can tell she's a Megan Thee Stallion fan by the way she's talking and her demeanor comes off as ratchet and ghetto. I bet you that even though she finally realizes the truth, she's still going to be in denial. Either you believed it or you don't. Which one? Pick one.
Said that something wasn't right, that it didn't make sense that Meg had her back turned to Tory, yet she's going to testify that he pew-pewed her. How can you say that you returned and still say in the same instance that you know who did what? If he did not have pew-pew residue on his hands, how is it possible that he did this to her?
So Megan Thee Stallion knew Tory.
And yeah, shout out to her. I mean, even she knew the truth. Even she knows that something was wrong. And once again, allegedly, there is no allegedly in this part. She confessed. She did it. Why? Oh, you know what? Let me just calm down. Because every time I see the word allegedly, it lets me know that these people still are in denial of not believing, Tory was innocent. And yet somehow they still want to defend Megan. I just don't understand this world. But at least she put up free Tory. Okay, let's just hear her out.
And I pew-pew her, and she proceeds to still lie about the whole time. You know who did it to you. You on motherfucking interviews and crying, acting a mother fool like this man just a... Baby, I'm with Chris Brown. Free Tory Lanez. I don't care no more.
Exactly.
I don't get how y'all really be okay with fucking up people like...
And it's about time that women like this finally get it. Because these Jezebels, they will stop at nothing for trying to ruin a man's name. Just because he's this big time celebrity with all of the money and stats. Anytime when the man becomes successful, they want to come out with these allegations and try to ruin this man's life. For what? I mean, if you have evidence, good. If not, then shut up.
Who literally, like, y'all be okay with messing up people's lives. 10 years in jail. Like, come on, be for real, for real. This man is an innocent man. Like he said, he was trying to stay quiet and, not say nothing about this. And so y'all just kept going and going and going. The bodyguard said Kelsey pew-pew Megan. The story just wasn't adding up at first anyway, and it was just too much going on, too many lies back to back. Like, it was so many different stories. You just didn't know what to believe from the jump. I knew that Megan was lying, but I just didn't know it was gonna come to this. Like she actually knew who did this. to her. That's just fucked up. That's crazy because now an innocent person is in jail because you was mad or you just didn't want to be exposed for being a fucking liar. Like, it still came out.
Like I said years ago, Tory should have never left Kylie Jenner's house that night with Megan. That was the biggest mistake of his life. Megan was belligerent, drunk, and jealous.
I wonder if Kylie Jenner has something to do with it, because based on this image, I can tell.
Even after sneaking behind her best friend's back to sleep with Tory, who was dealing with him before she was. Megan wanted all the attention and couldn't stand the thought of Kelsey getting any. Then she saw Tory and Kylie flirting at that party, and she lost it. That mix of jealousy, envy, and alcohol from somebody who couldn't handle their liquor was a complete disaster, all caused by Megan, who was combative and impulsive. Tory didn't even want to leave. He was trying to stay and chill at Kylie's house. But Megan couldn't let that happen. She got the driver to turn the vehicle around, went back in there, and got him to come back with her. And that right there, the biggest mistake of his life. He had no business being anywhere near those lying, conniving, jealous Jezebels. If he had stayed where he was, he wouldn't have been caught in the crossfire when Megan and Kelsey started going at it. No, she wouldn't have been able to make him the scapegoat. Then came the indictment. Tory believed the evidence, logic, and truth would clear his name. What he didn't count on was the full-force smear campaign. When feminism is involved, it's not about facts. It's about feelings,
and delusion,
and emotional manipulation. They'll lie, twist narratives, cry on cue, and play victim, even when they're dead wrong. And people will eat it up. Tory underestimated how far they'll go to destroy a man's life. We're talking about zero logic, zero fairness, zero common sense, just a mission.
And accountability.
And now it's all starting to unravel. Listen, this will indeed backfire hard on both Kelsey and Megan. They both watched him get 10 years for something he didn't do. Yeah, they're going to pay for what they've done. And don't think it's a coincidence. Meg was riding high on top of the world, then went on tour, brought Glorilla with her, and now Glorilla is on top. The industry's already moving on. And Megan, she's about to learn firsthand.
No, the industry is continuing to be a shithole. And let me tell you why. Because of women like this. This is why men all over the world are about to lose themselves over Jezebel's dysfunction, disrespect, manipulation, the lack of accountability, the lack of responsibilities, and the lack of self-aware from these people. And she's right. His biggest mistake was being involved with these 2 304s. Having he stayed where he was at, he wouldn't be crossing. Having he stayed where he was at, he wouldn't be crossed. Okay, let me just say this. Having he stayed where he was at the whole time, he wouldn't be caught in a crossfire between these two. Thanks to her. So now all the evidence is coming out. The question is, are they going to free Tory Lanez from jail? And I hope and pray that they do just that. So, shout out to Pink Book Lessons. Link to the original video will be down below. And I know y'all don't like my long videos, but as a content creator, I have to give my opinions on this like all times, so that everybody will have a better understanding of what I'm saying. So, I'm out.